The federal government has called for a harmonious working relationship between governing boards and chief executive officers of its parastatals, agencies and commissions. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, made the call in Abuja at an induction for newly inaugurated chairmen, governing board members and chief executives. Akume, represented by Mr. Muhammad Anjuma, Permanent Secretary, General Services Office, SGF, said the training was necessary due to interference in the functions of CEOs. He warned that government was concerned about the poor and unhealthy relationships in some agencies, which he described as unacceptable. He clarified the roles of boards and CEOs, stating that boards are to set operational and administrative policies and supervise their implementation. He urged appointees to be worthy of the trust reposed in them and embody values of equity, integrity, and good governance. Akume also announced that the Bureau of Public Service Reforms has been directed to access the inducted agencies.
This induction program becomes more significant at this time that the present administration is fully committed to entrenchment of good and purposeful governance in our country in line with the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. As you are all aware, the public service that we all know remains the major service provider in Nigeria. It is the operating arm of government with the responsibility of implementing policies and programs that guarantee the efficient delivery of good governance and diplomatic dividend to citizens. It is, however, hierarchical in structure, driving its direction from foremost decision-making body in the Federation, the Federal Executive Council. It is this assignment of responsibility of specific tasks that involve the creation of parastatals, agencies, and commissions of government. Parastatals are government establishments created by statute to provide specific services. The structure and operating instrument of which are derived from the respective acts of establishment. Parastatals are, however, placed under the supervision of a presidency or a ministry. The affairs of a parastatals are superintended by the governing board, headed by a chairman, to provide board policy guidelines, liaise with the supervisory ministry through permanent secretary for effective monitoring policy guidelines and ensuring that government policy and directives relating to the function of that parastatal are carried out. I'm assured that you will take this induction program very seriously and leverage on the gains as I affirm the unflinching support of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, in the discharge of your duties.
Mr. Dasuki Arabi, Director General BPSR, stressed the role of leadership in promoting corporate governance, ethics, and institutional effectiveness.
The responsibilities before you are enormous, as it is the public trust placed on your leadership. Citizens' quest on governance and service delivery is on the rise, making it imperative for public institutions to acquaint themselves with the fundamentals and rudiments of governance. Your roles as board members and executive leaders, as enshrined in the excellent rules and regulations, demands transparency, accountability, strategic oversight, and unwavering commitment to national service. This induction has been carefully designed to provide you with practical knowledge, policy insights, performance tools that will enable you to understand the legal, ethical, and operational dimension of your roles, strengthen oversight functions, management alignment, promote transparency, accountability, and inclusive leadership, and timely contribution to national goals through institutional performance excellence. It is also hoped that the problems that we're experiencing in managing conflicts between board members, chief executives, will be brought to an end after these sessions.
Mr. Samson Adeniran, Senior Program Manager, Conrad Adenwa, Steve Tong, Nigeria, said regular onboarding and capacity building were urgently needed. Speaking to newsmen, he said a major governance challenge often stemmed from misunderstanding of roles, by new board members and CEOs.
We noticed when we started partnering with BPSR that the board members, the chairman and so on, they needed was some sort of onboarding for their task. Many people came from previous jobs, and when they assumed the offices as chairman and members of boards, they really don't know exactly what they are expecting in office, and some have misconception of what they can do in office. So in order to reduce conflict between the board and the staff of the agencies, we need to do a sort of onboarding for them so that everybody will know their remit, they will know their task, and avoid trouble.
Mr. Bala Muhammad, a lecturer in the Department of Mass Communication, Bayero University, Kano, also stressed the need for clearer public office roles.
They will know exactly what to do as a board member, what to do as a chairman, what a CEO is, and there will be less conflict between boards and the executives management. And because in this country, and in many countries in Africa, the demarcating line between management and board has not been very clearly defined. And therefore, there has been reported of a lot of conflicts in many of the parastatals, especially since the beginning of the political dispensation in 1999. And therefore, this training is very, very important so that the chairman will know their roles, the board members will know their own roles as well, and then the management will know how to interact with the board and how, because the board is representing His Excellency the President, and the management is there to manage the day-to-day affairs of these organizations, these agencies, these parastatals. So it is very, very important for this to happen, and if only we had such trainings for ministers, for even governors.